Jeremiah was a great prophet of God at a very difficult time. The Lord officially declared it's too late for the rebellious, prideful people of Judah to repent, and their wickedness will cause them to be destroyed by the Babylonians. There's no turning back now, and Jeremiah, the prophet of doom and gloom and lamentations, is an eyewitness to it all. What a bummer of a time to be a prophet. Now, around 590 BC, two ideas divide the people of Jerusalem. A tiny minority believe God's prophecies about Jerusalem's approaching destruction, but the majority believe Jerusalem could never be destroyed. I mean, it's the promised land, right? Then one day at the temple, two men are prophesying. One is Hananiah, a false prophet, and he says exactly what the people want to hear. Sure, Babylon will attack, but everyone and everything will be quickly back in its proper place. No worries. The other is our hero Jeremiah, whose true prophecies from the Lord people unfortunately don't want to hear. While wearing a wooden yoke as an object lesson to remind them about their upcoming captivity, he declares, "From early times, the prophets who preceded me have prophesied war and disaster." Then Hananiah quickly breaks the yoke off Jeremiah's neck, declaring, "In the same way, God will break Babylon's yoke off the neck of all the nations within 2 years." Now, God could have done that, but it wasn't his plan, as Jeremiah, the true prophet, knew. And shortly thereafter, the Lord removes Hananiah and his false messages from the earth. Rest in peace, Hananiah. Today, we're surrounded by lots of false prophets, though they don't call themselves that. But anyone teaching messages opposite of God's plan, especially if they're saying they're from God, may be a false prophet. Now the Lord commands Jeremiah to write down all his prophecies, so he hires a scribe named Baruch. But these prophecies are so unpopular that Jeremiah is thrown into prison. Well, wicked King Jehoiakim asks to hear these writings, not to hear the word of the Lord, but so he can better punish Jeremiah. And so the scroll is read by a servant in front of the king, who, after every few verses, sneeringly slices off the read portions and burns them in the fire until all of Jeremiah's writings are destroyed. King Jehoiakim chuckles, thinking, that's the end of that. But the Lord always finds a way. And he commands Jeremiah to have Baruch write down all the prophecies again. But this time, the record is expanded and even more detailed. Speaking of second copies, while Jeremiah's in jail, his cousin visits and asks him to buy his land. Yeah, it's a little weird, but business is business. While Jeremiah totally knows this transaction is meaningless because the land is about to be destroyed, the Lord tells him to purchase the land anyway, but to make 2 contracts. One copy is to be shown to everyone, and the other copy is to be put in an earthen jar and buried. Why? Well, because the Lord tells Jeremiah, "I will gather my people from all the lands, and once more, fields will be bought in this land." Yes, the Lord knows what will happen in the future to Jerusalem. Similarly, the Lord had his scriptures recorded at least twice as well. One copy was written in the Old World, passed around for centuries, and modified. But the second copy was buried in the earth for centuries and finally came forth to verify the truths of the first. Can you name these 2 documents? You got it! The golden plates were buried for almost 2,000 years, and today help to verify and clarify the truth of the Bible. Now, after the Babylonians removed King Jehoiakim from power, they put in the puppet king, Zedekiah. Quick reminder, Nephi explains that they left Jerusalem at this point during Zedekiah's reign, and later, Zedekiah's youngest son, Mulek, escapes Jerusalem to become the leader of the Mulekites in the Book of Mormon. So the Lord commands Jeremiah to tell the people that when Jerusalem is conquered, if they give themselves into the Babylonians' hands, they won't die. But if they fight against the Babylonians, they will not succeed. Unsurprisingly, city officials are not fans of this message and complain to King Zedekiah.
He's discouraging our soldiers from fighting.
And so they take Jeremiah and throw him into a cistern, which is currently a deep hole in the ground full of mud. And Jeremiah sinks into the smelly muck. Gross. Yep, bummer of a time to be a prophet. However, a servant of the king, Ebed-Melech, hears of Jeremiah's smelly plight and, as a follower of God, gingerly but courageously approaches the king to beg for the prophet's life and rescue him. Fortunately, Ebed-Melech is allowed to assemble a group to pull Jeremiah out of the putrid pit. Hopefully, Jeremiah got a nice long bubble bath. The end probably needed it. Now, while our current prophet today probably won't ever be thrown in a cistern, let's be like Ebed-Melech and defend and sustain our prophet even as people figuratively throw disgusting words and filth at him. And while destruction is assured, the Lord still declares, "I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have reached out to you with unfailing kindness. I will build you up again, and you will go out again to dance with the joyful." Yes, even when the Lord disciplines us, His love always remains. Next week, we talk about dry bones coming back to life. It takes a lot to make these videos, so to keep Line Upon Line free for everyone, consider donating through Patreon. The link's in the description below. And thanks for watching. This episode is packed with info, so you might want to watch it again to make sure you didn't miss anything, including the hilarious jokes. If you feel this video has helped you on your path towards truth and Christian discipleship, please subscribe and share. Most importantly, go read the scriptures for yourself.